I'm Effie, this is What Effie Reads, and in this video I'm going to be watching and reacting to episodes 2 to 8 of the first season of First Kill. This video is going to be chock full of spoilers, so if you haven't checked out this series yet, please go to Netflix and come back and watch this after you've watched the first season. I'm also only going to be using short clips from the show, so you probably won't fully understand what's going on if you haven't already seen the show. But I will be timestamping this video, so if you want to watch it an episode at a time, there will be timestamps in the description. I'm also going to be summarizing the previous episode before I get into the next one, if that makes sense. So strap in and let's watch and react to season 1. So I've just rewatched episode 1. If you want my initial reaction, I already have a video where I watched episode 1 and talked about the short story that this show is based on. So I will link that in the comments. But a couple of things I picked up on is there's a pop art style picture of Eleanor that hangs in the Fairmont household. If we see it again in this episode, I will point it out. But I thought that was a really nice nod to the traditional vampire lore that you can't take photos of vampires. Like, I know it's to do with silver, but I feel like a lot of vampire stories still include it. Also, still obsessed with Eleanor. I think she's just so beautiful. I also noticed that in the title sequence you see animations of some various story moments, so I think it'll be interesting to see how many of them you pick up on as the show progresses. And I also want to correct a mistake I made where I thought the title music was Taylor Swift. It's in fact the Zombie Song by Stephanie Maybe. And I think I am about to start recording. I love this title sequence so much. When I've tried to walk away, don't look at me, I know I need to get my head. What's happening? Oh. I wasn't able to include visuals for the first episode, so I just want to comment on the CGI. I actually really love the kind of low budget 90s, almost like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and a little bit of, was it Flash Gordon? That had really bad CGI as well. I actually love it because it is that nostalgic throwback. And you know these things aren't real, you know they're CGI, so why not make them corny and cheesy?
The asshole's destroying my kitchen. This one's mine.
I've just noticed that Juliet is no longer wearing any lipstick, which means that her kiss with Calliope was really something, as it's rubbed off every scrap of lipstick that she was wearing. I mean, are we surprised? Because that was a very intense kiss scene, but that feels like next level.
You get that damn head off my rug.
I love Mama burns so much.
Juliet Anastasia Fairmont. Do you have any idea what time it is? Sebastian?
Mom, don't.
Did you?
What is it?
Her first kill.
I'm really tired.
Of course you are, yes. Go, sweetheart, go. Get some rest. There's no bigger day in a young legacy's life than the consecration ceremony.
You mean the Monsters Ball?
Don't be so colloquial, dear. Beauty rest, now.
I love that Juliet's completely gotten out of trouble by the fact that they think she's had her first kill. I'm also really intrigued by the idea of the Monsters Ball because it sounds a bit like a debutante coming out type of thing, which I think is a really fun take, and I don't think I've seen that in vampire stories before, but maybe, I don't know. I've read an awful lot of vampire stories.
People don't just go around dropping summoners.
Yeah, and hunters don't go around picking them up. It's the last picture I have of my mom.
I'm sorry, that's my bad. I'll fix it.
I don't want you to fix it. She made that frame. I want you to think before you act.
Oh. Is that why you walk around with the stick up your ass because you think before you act?
Hey, both of you, shut up and clean up before I lose my temper.
I really want to know more of Theo. Is Theo the older one? I keep forgetting which one's Theo and which one's Apollo, but I really want to know more of his backstory, and it seems like there's a lot more to learn about the monster hunters, because I'm gonna guess that his mother was killed during the line of duty and then he was adopted into this family, but hopefully we'll find out as the show progresses. But that was a really heartbreaking moment.
Hey! What do you think you're doing? You think I didn't see you?
Mom, no.
Get out of this now.
Relax. I work for the district attorney's office, remember?
As a paid intern who works for her father.
I feel like Eleanor's kind of giving me Pam from True Blood vibes, with the kind of like glamorous blonde vampire who is also very much like, I will do my own thing and everyone is beneath me. She's amazing.
So we were in a pantry, kind of close.
Wait.
Like,
What were you doing in a pantry?
it was a dare.
I'm worried because I don't want Juliet to become anything like him.
Ooh, who's him? So many mysteries, so intrigued.
Were you still in the closet with the new girl? Of course you were. Did you guys kiss? Did limbs entwine? Your lives changed forever?
Yes, absolutely. Forever.
Aw. Don't be shy now. Come on.
No blood pills, and she hasn't Oh, this is gonna get crazy.
The problem with your help, Eleanor, is that your talent is uncharted territory. I don't have it, your mother doesn't have it, and until we understand why you do and your twin doesn't, we have asked you not to use it. Return.
Ooh, so Eleanor has a twin, so there's another Fairmont sibling. And no one else has compulsion. That's so interesting. Oh, I love how well built up the lore of this world is. It seems so intricate. I mean, maybe I'm just obsessed with First Kill, but, you know, I am absolutely loving it.
Whoa. We do not take a 3,000-year-old monster summoner out of its protective bag, do we, Apollo?
Not unless we want to fill the bar with wraiths.
And Eleanor used to put her dolls in the microwave.
She thought they were cold.
Do you see the vampire stick?
No, not yet.
Oh, she's protecting Juliet.
You want me to be gentle?
Oh, baby, I want you to make it hurt.
Oh.
Wait.
In case you can't already tell by how much I've been thirsting over Eleanor, I would love it if she did that to me.
Said, leave me alone. And I said, I just want to talk.
Bringing a whole new meaning to the term the chase. What? What happened?
Why can't I feel my hand? What did you do to me? It's not me, it's my blood.
What?
It paralyzes. Get away from me! And it'll wear off.
Can all vampire blood paralyze? Or has Juliet got a special talent like her sister?
My sister goes to that school.
So did I. We never partied like that.
Oh, yeah? Let me guess.
Apollo's such an idiot. He's literally coming on to a vampire when his sister was able to immediately tell that Juliet was a vampire. I kind of love how stupid he is, and I'm guessing he's going to make mistake after mistake after mistake.
Thank you for coming.
Hello, Cyrus.
Hello.
Thanks for calling.
Well,
This isn't going to end well.
School, grades, the loss of a classmate. And on top
Dahlia knows what's up.
of it all, Juliet's debutante ball is this weekend.
I was right! It is like a debutante ball.
Was everything you said a lie? I certainly didn't jump up on that rooftop to make you feel better. But still, you were the first person to welcome me here. And you smiled at me and made me feel... That was before I realized what you were. How did you know? Like I said, everybody has tells if you look hard enough. And I couldn't keep my eyes off you.
That's so sweet.
I know you were planning on killing me at Noah's party. When I followed you into that pantry, all I wanted to do was kiss you. I've been thinking about it since you first walked into my English class. I didn't mean to bite you.
But you did.
Would you have staked me if I hadn't?
Yeah. I still would have staked you. What?
I can hear your heartbeat. It races when you lie.
So cool. They're so cute
Girls
together.
these days. How is next Sunday after church?
Great. Yeah, sounds good.
Oh no, she hasn't just invited the monster hunters to a monster ball, has she? That's a really cool sequence. Very easy to pull off. Because obviously you just need different colour lighting. But it's very visually satisfying.
Legacies were born vampires. Their bloodline stretches back thousands of years. They believe to the Garden of Eden.
They aren't even bound to the dark. Very rare, hard to find.
And even harder to kill. But you led us to them, baby girl.
Now each and every one of them must die.
That was so good. I really enjoyed that. And it just got me desperate to watch the next episode. Like, they've clearly created it in such a way that at the end of every episode, you're desperate to find out what happens next. And that's so true. I need to know what happens now all these monster hunters are in town. I think it's going to be really interesting because possibly they're invited to the Monsters Ball. So, yeah, I can't wait to crack on with it. I'm going to have a brief break, but then I will come back and watch episode 3. So, a quick recap of what we know after the first 2 episodes. Juliet is a legacy vampire, which makes her significantly harder to kill, which is why when Calliope staked her, it didn't work out. We also know that there's a mysterious him, which possibly is Oliver, Eleanor's twin brother. We know that I'm thirsting over Eleanor because I just think she's so fabulous. We also know that Juliet's going to have a debutante ball. I'm suspecting it's going to be this episode that we see the debutante ball. And we've got a whole heap of monster hunters in town to try and get rid of this legacy vampire threat. So, very excited for what's going to happen in this episode. Oh yeah, also Apollo's an idiot and can't seem to figure out when there's a vampire right in front of his face. I really like that all of these episode titles are all different firsts. I don't know if it continues this way. I haven't actually seen what all the episode titles are, but so far we've had First Kiss, First Blood, and this is First Fight. I think I may have gotten the titles wrong, but it's so cool seeing the way that each title is a bunch of firsts as Calliope and Juliet's relationship develops.
Keep your distance. Legacy blood touches your skin, you're done. Paralyzed instantly.
Okay, so it seems to be a legacy vampire thing rather than a Juliet thing, as it wasn't 100% clear in the previous episode if it was Juliet's special skill or if it was just a vampire thing in general.
You'll never be ready. Oh, please. I was born ready.
He's such an idiot.
Worse than a hunter can be.
Sorry.
For what?
Embarrassing you in front of the whole fam.
Keep your eyes on her shoulders. Never that. Come on.
Good. Slow, teacher.
Got this.
Calliope's so cool. I love how she just kicks ass constantly, even if she has made a few mistakes in the past.
And Oliver never had to do it.
We're a matriarchy. That's the part worth embracing. Really worth embracing. And Oliver almost destroyed this family. Do you really want to follow in his footsteps?
I'm so intrigued by the Oliver plotline. Like, we're getting tiny little snippets of it throughout. And it's interesting to see how Eleanor doesn't have as much of a connection to her twin. Ooh, I like that dress. It's beautiful.
No.
No way.
This moth trap was my consecration. You see what happens when you procreate with a vampire you've made. So, wrangling your little sister is above your abilities then, yes?
I'll take care of it.
Good.
Ooh. Is Eleanor going to use her compulsion ability to make Juliet make a kill? Is that even something she's capable of?
Enough already. Admit and forget.
Fine.
Your parents are having a party, and I'm not invited.
Admit.
Okay. Forgive and forget.
Thank you.
That's such a sweet, and it feels like a really good communication strategy. I'm really loving the friendship that we've got depicted between Ben and Juliet. Like, it feels like the opposite of toxic. Like, they're going, yes, I'm lying to you, but as long as you admit it, we'll forgive and forget. This is what we need. Positive friendships.
You know death freaks me out. Besides, does it look like I can go anywhere right now?
You get out of my kitchen unless you want to make this dinner.
Happy to. But first, can I get a little dessert?
They're so cute.
I always found that part a bit kinky.
Yeah. Yeah, the mythos of vampires is always that, well, as Eleanor says, kinky.
I know how hard it is to kill a monster. That looks, that feels human. I respect you, Kel. Which is why I hate to do this.
Domino! Yeah, you out there losing like that?
What this TV show, I feel like, is doing really well. Well, it's doing a lot of things brilliantly, but I like how it juxtaposes the sad, more serious moments with the lighter, more comedic moments. That's kind of like the symbol of good writing, the way that you've got that juxtaposition. Because if it's all low, sad, serious moments, they don't hit the same as when you have the more comedic, light-hearted moments. And I'm enjoying seeing that. I feel like we've had that a couple of times already. Like when it gets really serious and heavy, and then you just have a lighter, funny moment straight after. And I think in some ways maybe that adds into why the CGI appears kind of lower budget, because it adds a bit of lightness and a bit more joviality to these things that are potentially very scary, very dangerous.
Which is why we've decided you're ready for your first kill.
What?
Let's go, sis.
Welcome to the team, Cal.
Welcome to the hunt, Cal.
You're joining the hunt, baby girl.
Yeah. You'll have the honor of killing Juliet.
Oh no! That's such a bittersweet moment for Calliope. I bet at that moment she's thinking, literally anyone else would have been perfect, just not Juliet.
That's Eve, or at least the actress playing Eve in tonight's legacy hunt. But we can find a replacement. Drink up. Wait, you want me to bite her? I'm not killing anyone. Your grandmother is a monster. If she finds out you're weak, a vampire afraid to kill, she'll shun you.
Just because I'm not a killer doesn't mean I'm weak.
Couldn't or wouldn't.
Wouldn't. I mean, I could, but I won't because I like her.
Oh, you've got a crush. Luckily, it'll pass. Maybe. Maybe it won't. You are a legacy vampire of Atwood lineage. I find that to be the coolest thing in the world. Maid vampires would love to see their reflection in a mirror. Be able to spend as much time in daylight as they like to. Eat human food and not get ill. But you and me, we woke up like this. I'm begging you. Free your mind, stop wishing to be something you'll never be, and appreciate what you are.
So there was a lot to pack in that last wee scene. So we found out other ways that the legacies are different. So the reason that Julia, Eleanor, all of them can see their reflection is because they are legacies. I would say maybe that's to do with Silver, but we already know that Silver does actually affect Julia. So they do have a weakness. We've also discovered that the reason that they are daylighters, as Calliope called them in episode 1, is because they are legacy vampires. But also, I thought it was really nice the question that potentially it takes more strength to not kill someone than to do the killing. Maybe I'm not unpacking my thoughts very well there, but I think it's interesting the way that Juliet's saying it's not a weakness to be able to kill and choose not to.
Earlier today, Cal told Tess she has doubts about killing vamps.
And she implied we're just as bad as the monsters we hunt.
Give me a break. Cal wouldn't.
That's such a betrayal! I can't believe that Tess has done that to Calliope. I just want to pause here and give the show credit for actually including a wide variety of vampires. I feel like too often vampires are depicted in one particular way, whereas we've got a whole host of different kind of vampires. I suppose, we already have Sapphic vampires, so why not depict them as every flavour of humanity that you can get?
Jesus, you're a mess.
That dress is so gorgeous!
Drink it now. Mom will kill you if you get blood on the Valentina.
Juliet's as thirsty as I am every time I see Eleanor.
Juliet Anastasia Atwood.
Oh, that's gorgeous! I love the dress they picked for Juliet.
It's all grown up.
Is that Oliver? It is Oliver.
You wanted to upset us. You have. Now leave before you ruin your sister's big night.
I think I'll stay.
Ooh, what's Oliver gonna get up to?
Attack me. Let it restrain you. Drag you in. Look how erratic you're acting.
You're invading my personal space.
Yes, Calliope! Yes! You show that creep what for? No! Oh, please tell me that's not Eleanor kidnapping her.
Have you ever wondered why I have 3 sisters that you've only met once? It's because I humiliated my family by running away with my human plaything. They have children that I have never met, family events that I have not been invited to, all because I refused to marry Henry Davenport. I'd fallen in love with your father. So, on my wedding day, I ran. I have had no relationship with my family since. They came to Eleanor's ceremony because Mother is the most revered legacy. They didn't come to yours because she gave them permission not to. They abhor the fact that I am keeper in waiting. Their disdain for me, it's palpable.
You know?
I wonder if the whole interlude with... I've forgotten her mother's name. Let's just call her Mama Fairmont. I wonder if the whole interlude with Mama Fairmont telling the story of how she ran away with Juliet's father because she was so in love with him is a prophetic thing that we're going to get a callback to with Juliet and Calliope. Like, obviously, this is a sapphic love story between a vampire and a monster hunter. And the trailer for this series seemed to imply that it was them against the world. So it wouldn't be a surprise if that's what happens. But it is quite cute that we're potentially going to have a history repeating itself sort of situation.
I smell blood. Eleanor, I smell... What did you do?
I scrolled through your phone and found her.
You're welcome.
Yes, Eleanor did kidnap Calliope. Oh, poor Juliet. She's going to have such a... Oh, I don't even know what to feel about this. This is... Oh, poor Juliet and poor Calliope. And you just know the episode's going to finish on another cliffhanger.
Some decisions you have to mull over, consider, contemplate. But sometimes, you know, in your gut, the right thing to do.
Juliet!
Oh! That was so cool. That it just ended on such a massive cliffhanger. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to... Oh, I really want to watch the next episode, but I'm going to have to nip and have tea. But I'll be back shortly to watch episode 4. Back again to watch episode 4. So a wee recap of what we've had so far. We've learned that Julia and her family are a kind of vampire called legacies, which makes them much harder to kill. And a whole squad of monster hunters have come into town to try and kill all of these legacies. Juliet's been told that she can't join the hunt because she's got too much sympathy for the vampires, and they also suspect that the bite that Juliet gave her has like warped her brain. But we've also seen a little bit of the duality between the fact that the monster hunters aren't completely good. We've had a character called Cook who was really creepy, and Calliope basically knocked him out and made a run for it because he was being an absolute creep. And we've also seen Juliet saying that it's the opposite of weakness to have the opportunity to kill someone and choose not to. And then right at the end of the previous episode, the monster hunters had just descended on the Legacy's gathering, colloquially known as a monsters ball. And Juliet and Calliope have some decisions to make, as Eleanor kidnapped Calliope and brought her to Juliet to try and get her to make her first kill. But Oliver, Eleanor's twin brother and Juliet's big brother, is trying to offer Juliet another way. We still don't really know what's happening with Oliver. We don't know if he's the him that Juliet's parents were talking about in, I think it was episode 2. So it'll be interesting to see, and I guess let's crack on. Oh, looks like Eleanor, Oliver, Juliet, and I'm going to guess Calliope's right behind them, have decided they're going to run away. The Valentino! Was that Juliet's dad? Is he classed as a legacy since he's made? Or is he more easily killable? Margot? Obviously, like, we're not gonna know if this is actually them being killed, but that looks like they've downed both of Juliet's parents. We don't know if these weapons are actually capable of killing them, but that's both of them potentially killed.
We're using the silver tip spears.
Why aren't they dying? Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
The weapons don't work. Oh. Things are gonna hit the fan.
You're killed!
It's the creepy cop!
Who are you to be squawking to me about family?
I love how Calliope keeps beating up this creeper.
Move and I'll feed you to my family! Got your Nightcrawler!
Calliope and Juliet just make the best team. That's Tess's parents. As much as I hate that she sold Calliope out, that's rough. I guess at least they died together. Oliver!
Tess, I'm sorry, we have to get out of here.
When are you gonna stop taking trophies?
Tess wouldn't come. What was I supposed to do?
Hold your position. She's not in her room.
Is that Oliver on the table? Was the trophy that Apollo took Oliver?
Remember when we pinky promised that we would always help each other out of any mess, anytime? No questions asked.
Whatever.
This is true best frienddom. Shannon, whenever you're watching this, I would totally help you hide a body.
This is Juliet's new friend, Calliope.
Oh, a friend, or bring some of that over here, friend.
Mom,
What? You already told me about Jewel swap and spit with some hot new thing at your secret boyfriend's party. Hush now.
Bunny, your glass is sweating.
Oh, well, we can't have that. You girls come in for some chocolate cream pie if you're hungry for something other than each other.
Hi, Mrs. Wheeler.
I love that level of acceptance. That's so sweet.
Letty, let's go!
Jules!
Letty, let's go! Come on, get away from him! Come on, let's go!
Is Julia making her first kill to save Calliope? This is amazing. I did not expect Julia to actually kill someone in this series. This is so major. I love that she's doing this to save Calliope.
And as far as the guild's concerned, you've had a significant win tonight. Our friends are dead. And my child is missing. You want me to feel like I gotta win? You fine, Cook.
Why do I feel like this is Talia's villain origin story? Or at least the catalyst that propels her to side more with the vampires than the guild. Ew. What's it attached to? Okay, for anyone that... Oh, what's the name of the title with the nipple story? Like, that reminds me so much of the nipple story. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up. Okay, so my screen recording stopped when I looked this up, but the book that I was thinking of is How It All Blew Up by Arvin Ahmadi. And yeah, that whole scene just then just reminds me of the nipple story. Oh gosh. Because I had to turn the video back to find my place, I have to watch this scene again. Ew. Ew.
What the hell was that?
Ew.
Oh, looks like obvious thread.
Ew. That's so gross. Ew.
It's from a Daedra coven.
She already knows.
She accepts it?
Yeah, the whole family does. They had to, since they're vampires too.
2016, when you kissed me, were you just taking a little taste?
Oh my.
Waking up to the big chop?
You kissed me. And I think it's pretty clear neither of us knew what we were doing that night. Where are you going?
To get my Taylor Swift blanket, my keys, and some paper towels for your face.
I love how blasé he is. Now that he knows the truth and has had like half a second to process, he's like, okay, let's sort this out. Let's get this body disposed of. Let's just do this.
Mm-hmm. You use your power to get what you want.
Is she about to compel her? I think she's about to compel her grandmother.
Davenport clan has 2 sons, very eligible bachelors. Let me fix what Mother broke.
Every time I think she's going to use compulsion, she actually just uses her wiles. She's so smart. Yeah. I love Eleanor. I love Oliver. I love Talia. This is just such a great show. I just love all the cast, basically. That is so much more dramatic than I expected. I thought it was just going to be a bite from the snake, but oof.
You hear that, Marco? That's the sound of my screwdriver driving into your son's neck. And that's the sound of me not giving a shit how loud he screams.
Dahlia's so cool. I love how protective she is of Calliope, how she gives no cares and does what she thinks is right.
It felt right. And I feel different. How do you feel? Seeing me do that?
Weird. Really weird.
I like how well the characters communicate with each other. Like, this is a great framework for how relationships should be, like ignoring the fact that one's a vampire and one's a monster hunter. The fact that they are communicating and talking through these things that clearly has had an impact on both of them, but in very different ways.
I know you better now. Like I know what you'll do for the people you care about. Why didn't you run away like I told you to?
I did, but then I heard you scream.
But I couldn't scream. I mean, inside I was screaming, but he'd take my mouth. I couldn't make a sound.
They really have a connection. Why does fruit always fall down around Juliet and Calliope?
She's probably still on the scavenger hunt. Oh, here they come now. Yeah, run. Guys, you won.
Hey, we just came back from
From a fake scavenger hunt. Nice try, Ben.
That's brilliant.
Oliver is a self-destructive psychopath with serious attachment issues.
But also really hot. Ooh. I'm guessing that's Carmen? Was that her name? The witch that Oliver was romantically entangled with. But is she also the one that ate the liver in episode 1? Maybe. Oh, she didn't pop up till episode 2. I'm so silly. I'm watching these so quick after one another. I'm forgetting which episode things happen in. But possibly.
What are you doing?
And revenge. It's good to be back.
No! Oliver! Oliver!
You say so.
I love them so much. It's really cool watching their relationship develop and the way that they work together through all these different obstacles. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happened to Sebastian. It seems like him having the snake has changed him quite a bit. And I think the whole storyline with Oliver is also going to be really interesting because clearly he knows a way that the legacies can be killed. But he's got his own little things going on. And it's really strange as well because he puts this face on like he is gentler and kinder. But then there's been these hints of him actually being more corrupt than the other Fairmonts. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out as well. So we had a lot of things happening in episode 4. Right at the start, we had the monster hunters attempting to kill the legacies, which included both of Juliet's parents getting hurt. Her mother was okay, but her father, because he's a maid vampire, wasn't healing quick enough. We also had, presumably Oliver, we're not 100% sure if he killed Tessa's parents, but he seemed to be claiming it, so we think that Oliver murdered both of Tessa's parents. So now Tess obviously doesn't have either of her parents. But then Oliver got kidnapped by Apollo, the ditzy idiot that Apollo is. And we also had Cook trying to kidnap Calliope, but Juliet came to save the day, and it seemed like they'd both killed him. So Juliet and Calliope went to Ben's to try and get him to help dispose of the body. But when they found out he wasn't in the boot and he started attacking them, that's when Juliet made her first kill and killed Cook to save Juliet and Ben. And in the process, Ben found out Juliet's secret. We also had Juliet's father being healed by the snake, but it seems to have changed him and he's acting very strangely, very out of character. And then towards the end of the episode, we saw Oliver's partner. It's kind of been said that they haven't really put a label on it, but we're going to say Oliver's partner, who is a witch, possibly the same witch that killed Ashley, but we only got a very brief look, so I'm not sure if it is the same person. And the episode ended with Juliet and Calliope running off together. So let's see what's in store for us in episode 5.
Vampires have a little trick getting past locked doors.
She definitely made that seem like it was going to be the click that you see in some vampire mythology where they're able to open locks with kinetic energy, I guess. But no, just straight into smashing the window.
Ancient grudge.
Sounds familiar. Oh, too familiar.
I love that parallel that they're drawing there.
I think I was queer from the womb. My mom kept telling me, it's okay if you like girls. And I was so pissed because I was marrying Bruno Mars. And how dare she? But it turns out I like girls that look like Bruno Mars.
Okay, that's kind of familiar. Like, I feel like my sort of journey to knowing who I am was a lot more smooth. Like, I don't feel like I ever really questioned myself, but very much like I like a more effeminate looking man, so I can completely get what Calliope's saying, I guess.
I will always be a hunter. But I will never hunt you.
I really hope that's not foreshadowing. I really hope she never does hunt Juliet. Like, they're so sweet together.
Fan of reality? Okay. Whose reality, Ben? Not your own. Because your reality is Noah, a straight boy with a girlfriend, which makes you a side piece in a closet he's not coming out of.
Ooh, that was vicious.
I have no interest in sharing a meal with your ex-fiance.
Oh, please, Sebastian. Don't be a sore winner.
Don't play around, okay? No evidence. Philippa and I are getting serious. I'm serious about you too, Noah. So what are we doing? Are you for real right now? Dead ass. We're doing what we always do. Hooking up. You start acting like it's more than that and we're done. Get me.
Noah is such a piece of trash.
Lock the doors, please.
Cal, it's the monster alarm.
We are on lockdown.
What I did was indefensible, leaving you at the altar like that. I don't know why I wasn't honest sooner.
Because your mother wouldn't have allowed it. But eventually I understood. Despite our upbringing, I believe in love.
That's such a sweet moment. The communication in this show is top notch.
To marriage.
The first marriages.
I love how Eleanor's just given herself the ultimate wiggle room there. But also, she's definitely got that, like, lady killer, I'm going to kill as many husbands as I need to maintain the life that I want.
I think there might be a monster out there.
That's insane. There haven't been monsters in Savannah in decades. I've never even seen one.
And maybe this whole no monsters in a decade thing might not be factually true, so just...
It's so interesting how, without any kind of lead up in the past 4 episodes, it seems that it's accepted that monsters are a thing in the world of First Kill. Like, to the extent that they've actually got an alarm for monsters in their school. I'm not mad at this, it's just a surprise.
Again, not a relationship. Never was. Never will be.
Hey, Noah.
How do you know all this? I come from a family of monster hunters. By the time I was 6, I was asking Mall Santa for a katana.
Get away from me! Get away!
Sounds like Noah's getting his comeuppance. She really just made him literally spineless after he's been metaphorically spineless. I love that.
So you like Tom then?
He's a tool, but a tool I can use.
That's such a good line. Cal's so cool. Is that Ashley? Has Ashley become a zombie?
Jules, it's your girl Ashley. You scared me when you broke.
It is Ashley.
Nothing feels normal anymore.
That's certainly one way to solve an issue. Also, Calliope's just got her first kill as well. Oh, I love how the 2 girls got their first kills when they were together. That's so sweet.
Just agree to the terms, get the loot, we'll work out the details later.
I saved your worthless life, and you will treat me with respect. As will you. Half of you is Atwood. It's time you acted like one.
Oh my gosh. I guess the Emerald Malkia has a new keeper.
And you won't hurt me.
Just go.
Things were going so well with Juliet and Calliope. Hopefully they can get past this. It'd be really sad if their love story can't continue.
I ate her.
You ate my mother.
That's going to be quite something for them to overcome together, I think.
We built an amazing life together. You and Eleanor and Juliet are my everything, and I will never tolerate an attack of any kind on any of you.
Tell the Davenports we've changed our mind. The engagement is off. They're free to...
Such a beautiful, touching moment. Couple goals or what? Oliver!
Oliver, let her go! It is impossible to be immune to the insanity of first love. A union predestined, written in the stars.
I want Eleanor's pretty little head on a stake. What if we can turn you into a real girl?
There's a spell for that.
Help me bring Eleanor down, and you and Cal could live happily ever after. No strings attached.
That's amazing. That's quite the twist. Also, are we really surprised that Eleanor sold out her own brother? This show is just getting more and more interesting. I'm kind of sad that I've only got 3 more episodes to go, but I'm still absolutely loving it. So the main meat of episode 4, right? 4? Is it 4? I don't know. Episode 4 or 5, I can't even remember. The main meat of the last episode was Calliope and Juliet just trying to make it work. And also there being a zombie at their school whilst Eleanor tries to hammer out her engagement that she promised to her grandmother in exchange for the help of the Emerald Malkia serpent to heal her father. I think we're still likely to see some interesting twists and turns that happen as a result of what the snake serpent has done to Sebastian, Juliet's father. But I think the really sort of big reveal was Carmen and Olivia saying that they could actually make Juliet human, which is massive, but also a little distrustful of Oliver. And it'll be interesting to see if Juliet chooses her humanity over her sister. Like, I do absolutely adore Eleanor, but I also love Oliver, so it's quite a weird watching experience because I love them both, but they're very much on opposite sides. I completely forgot when I was summarising to say that Calliope got her first kill as well. So both of the girls have gotten their first kills together. And I think both in protecting one another, which is a really sweet touch.
And your little fling with that vampire is absolutely over. You so much as mention her name, and I'll take you both out myself.
Talia's getting really vicious now.
Shall we say 1 o'clock? And be a dear and leave those nasty spare guns at home.
Keep your fangs in your mouth. We won't have a problem.
Talia, we will always have a problem.
I love this kill them with kindness attitude. It's so delicious.
Afraid to leave our homes? Then we got rid of them.
Is that Bunny? I can't tell if that's Bunny.
2 kids are dead.
That's a tragedy. Bunny, our kids are best friends.
It was Bunny. She looks so different in this episode. Maybe because she's in kind of smart wear rather than the casual chilling at home outfit.
One day I'm gonna eat that woman.
I underwent a severing after my mother was killed to make sure I wasn't connected to the vampire who killed her.
Wait, the vampire who killed your mom bit you too?
We don't know for sure.
Oh, we're finally getting more information about Theo's backstory. And the fact that it was a vampire that killed his mother just makes it all the more personal and just links them all together really interestingly. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that the vampire that killed his mother was a legacy and possibly even related to the Fairmonts.
They tried to eradicate us. They nearly killed you.
I know. I was there. Jack Burns put a spear through my Armani tux.
Trust a vampire to be bothered about his nice tux being destroyed.
Politician. Obscene is 90% of the job.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, no argument here. My husband impaling you is the highlight of my week.
Okay, let's just assume
Talia.
exactly where we...
Our son's pretty much a programming whiz.
He can make that video tell whatever story we needed to tell.
Without anyone realizing they aren't seeing what they originally thought they saw.
He's that good.
3 hours.
I really hope they're not bluffing, because that would be really cool. And it's a great way to continue their truce as well.
Therefore, re-entreat.
Things are getting creepy.
Who's the best?
Oh, Theo! Looks like Theo might have been less okay than he told Cal he was gonna be. Either that, or he's always had nightmares and we're just now discovering that.
This thing between us, it's over.
You want to be with me?
I had to choose between you and my family. I choose my family.
What about us? Cal, I mean, why are you in my dream?
It's a dream. I wonder if that means the severing was unsuccessful, or if that's because what they have was never anything to do with Juliet being a vampire.
All inconvenient bloodlust and existential angst. But you haven't learned the most important part.
And what's that?
How fun it can be.
So you're catfishing bored middle-aged hunter wannabes?
Yeah. If the guild finds out that Ma'am thinks it can do our job better than we can, we've got a problem.
You just know this is going to end badly. Like, it's well established that Apollo is just a complete idiot. So, I mean, I don't know if this is going to get him killed, if it's going to backfire, but you know it's not going to end well. What do we think that letter is? That was Juliet's bag, right? So do we think it's from Oliver? Mysterious.
I give him my face.
Why have a one-night stand when you can have two?
Oh no!
Wow. What is that?
That is what it feels like to feed off a guy that just did a nice amount of ecstasy.
You make me so happy.
I love how they're basically getting a contact high.
We killed him. I mean, it wasn't intentional. We were just helping you get your training wheels. Oh my god.
That sure sobered her up quickly. Is this going to be what persuades Juliet to decide to take Oliver's side rather than Eleanor's? Is this going to be the catalyst?
Why? There are witches now?
Apparently.
I have to say, I'm a little bit confused about like what is believed to exist in this world and what isn't. Like, one moment they're being very blasé about monsters, and then the next moment they're like, witches exist? It's like, I find it a little bit confusing that it's just kind of accepted that Savannah's this kind of hellmouth, but unlike in Buffy, everyone seems to know that it is almost like a hellmouth. But they also don't realise that vampires exist, and they don't know that witches exist, so it's a little confusing. Like, I can suspend my disbelief, I'm just a bit like, where's the line?
also customary to present said gift at a coronation ceremony.
Which we can't have since you, your father, and I are the only ones who know that your grandmother is on vacation.
About that? It's the plan.
And drop. Steak.
Well, that was titillating.
You started teasing the steak part of my gym. Who's next?
Okay, ladies, we'll have more.
Oh, Apollo's getting all the mother's all hot and bothered.
You have to invite me in.
You can come in.
I did not expect that to be a barrier. I'm really surprised that they've kept that little part of the vampire mythology. But I think because they have kept it in, it's probably going to come in as an important part of the next 2 episodes, I guess.
I could see bite marks on her neck. They disappeared, Kyle. My mom was killed by a day-walking vampire. It was a legacy. You know how rare legacies are. What if it's one of the ones here, Savannah?
No, I'm sure it wasn't. That's way too coincidental. But I'm really sorry. I hate that you're even having these kind of dreams.
Poor Theo. Like, you could obviously see it coming that it was going to be a legacy that killed his mother. But it's just so heartbreaking that he's getting flashbacks of that. It's also interesting that the severing doesn't seem to have worked for Calliope, but then maybe that's because Theo was never connected to a vampire, and that's why they thought the severing worked for him.
I heard someone coming down the hall, so I jumped in the closet. Just glad you didn't leave. Sorry it took so long.
I love that little nod. Juliet jumping in the closet. Oh, brilliant.
I just love the way you're talking about your life. Like it's your life. Just makes me feel like I'm supposed to be with you.
I'm supposed to be with you too.
Yes. I love their love story so much. This looks like the kids are forming their own version of Mams. This could end badly.
Oh, shit.
What the hell?
Looks like things are coming to a head. Can't believe I've only got 2 more episodes to go as well. Theories for what's going to happen. I think Julia isn't going to make a decision about her humanity this season, or if she does, it's going to be right at the end of the season. I think things are going to get weird for Sebastian. Like, it seems to be calming down, but I think it's the calm before the storm. I definitely think we're going to see more from Oliver and Carmen. And I don't know. I think we might get more of Theo's backstory. Maybe he'll figure out who killed his mother. Like, in the flashbacks, it looked like a woman. But I don't know. I have this feeling like maybe it was actually Sebastian, but that probably doesn't make sense. I don't know. Or maybe it was a Davenport. And maybe the Fairmonts and the Burns will team up because it was a Davenport that killed Theo's mother. I'm not sure, but I am going to take a wee break from it now, and then I think I will probably watch the last 2 episodes right through without a little recap in the middle. So I guess see you in a bit. I'm back, I'm feeling refreshed, and I'm ready for the final 2 episodes of First Kill. So episode 6 was a bit of a quieter episode. A number of things still happened, but it was a lot tamer, a lot less action than the previous episodes, which I think makes sense because I'm expecting a lot of things to kick off in these final 2 episodes. We had the mom group, which I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's something about Mothers Against Monsters. And we also had Eleanor taking Juliet out to a bar and killing a guy with Juliet. We also had Calliope's severing ceremony. We're not sure if that didn't work because there was nothing to be severed or if there's something special about Juliet. And we got a bit more of Theo's backstory. So it's going to be interesting to see how all those aspects come into play in the final 2 episodes. This episode title doesn't bode well. First Goodbye. Hopefully this isn't in reference to Juliet and Calliope's relationship, but I guess we will find out. I won't find out until I watch this episode. But First Goodbye sounds sad.
What is a monster? The man who threatens to kidnap you, forces you to fight for your life, and ends up losing his?
So it seems that we're continuing to play with the idea of good and evil, and that not all supposed good characters are good and not all bad characters are wholly bad. I like that this has been a thematic thing throughout. It'd be nice to see Margot's first kill story being woven into this, but I'm not sure. I feel like we've missed the opportunity that we could have got Margot's first kill story, but thematically it would make sense if it was brought up, especially as we've got Calliope's voiceover here talking about how bad Cook was and how his death was right, as much as any murder can be called right, if that makes sense.
Are you aware that a body was found near Triplet Park yesterday?
Am I aware? It's all anyone's talking about. Are you not on TikTok? There's an entire hashtag, Triplet Massacre, which...
I like that because it's a nice nod to the fact that as social media continues to grow and grow, that continues to be a source of news, especially for people that lose faith in mainstream media. And obviously social media can give you unedited footage. Obviously people can edit, but it can give you proof and evidence of things as they happen.
I don't think the cops are worried about legal justice. Not with the Mothers Against All Monsters calling for heads to roll.
That's what the acronym stands for, Mothers Against All Monsters. That makes a lot of sense.
Come on with me. My parents will know exactly how to protect you.
Oh, Calliope. They would protect Juliet so hard, they would figure out a way to kill a legacy.
There's something I need to tell you. I need you to be cool, all right?
Cal, what is it?
I brought someone home.
She really did it. She really brought Juliet around to the house of her monster hunter family. Oh, Calliope.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna kill her.
Talia is such a cool character.
We don't know how, remember?
I met Cal. Come in my house talking about this vampire's been here before. When? Why?
That's so true to Talia's character. She's just like, right, can't kill the girlfriend, I'm gonna kill my daughter for this.
Clyde can't take any burns. You have crossed my absolute limit.
Oh my gosh, her middle name is Antigone. Let's hope that's not prophetic. For anyone unfamiliar with the story of Antigone, Antigone was Oedipus's daughter, and her brothers ended up killing each other, and then she forbade, I think it was her uncle's rule, to go and bury her disgraced brother. It's such a tragedy. I mean, the whole Oedipus trilogy is a tragedy, but I don't know. It's a play that I absolutely adore, and I love that Calliope's middle name is Antigone.
Closing your door when a girl's in your room. It's not how it works in my house, and you know that.
I love that. That's the first thing her mother says, is that she can't have the door closed when she's got a girl in her room. Does that mean Talia's accepting this? I guess we've reached a stalemate again.
He threatened to take me to the guild, so I ran. He caught me. I tried to fight him, but he got the upper hand. All of my training went out the window. I know how to fight monsters, but I didn't know how to fight one of my own.
He never should have laid a hand on you, and you know that. None of this is your fault, you hear me?
If he wasn't dead, I'd kill the son of a bitch myself.
I love how protective her parents have gotten. And I love that their response is basically, I'm glad that he's dead. And if he wasn't dead, we would have killed him ourselves.
Let's go, girls.
It's another one of these really good juxtapositions between a very somber, heartfelt moment and just the joviality of Let's Go, Girls. What this show has done really well is perform the balancing act of the heavy and the light, and just made the heavy moments more impactful, and then you have the light moments that just drive home just how heavy the heavy moments are. It also adds a sense of normality amongst all the chaos that's going on.
I'm Arch McQueen, and this pile of dust was a vampire, which I summarily dispatched. How did I do it? I call this bad girl Saturday Night Fever.
That's so campy. Like, it was really campy before he even showed us this like glittery disco ball of a steak. But that just added to it.
This dipshit is so full of himself.
Glad we don't have anyone like that in our family.
Such a burn. I mean, Apollo is just an absolute idiot that thinks so highly of himself. It sounds like Theo's sick of his nonsense as well.
But I hate lies. Hate liars.
He's making a card tower out of tarot cards. It's such a cool little touch there.
find whoever did this to your mother and destroy it.
I love that brotherly love between Apollo and Theo and that determination that they are going to get to the bottom of this. But I'm gonna guess it's not gonna end well, whether that's for the legacy vampires or whether that's for Apollo and Theo. But I think it's gonna be dramatic.
Eleanor Fairmont.
Yo, it's complicated. We got a little vibe going. I get her.
She's not gonna give up information to us.
Well, if you come at it with that attitude, or you...
Oh my gosh, Apollo. How many times do you have to make stupid mistakes?
No. No way.
You don't know Eleanor like I do. I mean, she's complicated, smart, sexy. We're actually a lot alike.
Ugh, you think an awful lot of yourself, Apollo. Oh dear. Don't get yourself killed, Apollo. You stupid, stupid man.
Invite yourself out.
Or what? You're gonna excommunicate me? You already played that card, Bash.
Are they about to throw down?
Oh, all that posturing.
Tell Jules she knows where to find me. And I know where to find you.
I really hope we get more of Oliver's backstory this season, because I can't figure out if he's misunderstood or truly very dark. And then I guess there's an element of like the amount that he hates Eleanor and she's vicious as anything. Has he just taken the fall for something horrific that Eleanor did?
My mama always told me to put on clean drawers every day, because you never know what might happen. Well, I guess today what happens is I'm going to jail.
You cannot eat her. Call the chief and tell her to get that.
I love that that's Margaret's first response. Do not eat Bunny. That is not going to solve your problems.
You set me up.
No, I wouldn't do that. That's not what this is. Theo, walk away.
I always fought for the stupid ones.
How'd you call me?
Yes. Even Eleanor sees that Apollo's just being an absolute idiot.
Finger! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Our next first date will be much better. Neither of you will remember much of this one.
So not only has Eleanor been the catalyst for Theo getting stabbed, possibly fatally, but Eleanor's now compelled them to forget. Like, I knew Apollo was stupid, but if this has gotten Theo killed, oh, that boy.
How long do you think it'll take them to break down your door? When this falls on me and my family, it falls on all of us.
Such a smart move. Calliope clearly takes after her mother with just how smart and how much she thinks everything through. And also the way that she will defend those that she loves and cares about. Even if it means threatening people in the most serious terms.
Is my heart safe with you? Forever.
Such a cute moment. Difficult, especially knowing that Theo is potentially dying across the city, but so beautiful, so touching.
I need to warn my family.
What about the guild woman? If you call your parents, she'll know you're here.
I'll call Theo. He'll know what to do. Theo?
Speak out. Something happened to Theo.
That looks very much like Theo's dad, which I hate because I love Theo's character so much. But maybe it'll be what gives Apollo the kick to stop being such an idiot. But it's also just really gut-wrenching and difficult. I don't know, I guess you never really expect the central characters to get killed off, especially as this is quite a big swing for a first season if they have actually killed off Theo. But I suppose this episode is called First Goodbye, so it would make sense if this is actually goodbye to Theo. And cliffhanger! Straight on to episode 8, I think. I'm not going to do too much of a summary of episode 7 because I want to get straight into episode 8. But we think Theo might be dead. The moms think Calliope is the vampire. And yeah, I think everything's going to kick off in episode 8. I've also heard there's a cliffhanger, so I'm intrigued to see where that goes. That doesn't bode well. I mean, every title hasn't boded well. Well, the last few titles haven't boded well, but First Betrayal. This could be a difficult one. I'm hoping that even if we do end on a cliffhanger, the relationship between Cal and Juliet is a certainty at the end of the series. Hopefully.
Theo!
What in the name of Lilith?
What's wrong with him? Theo! Theo, wake up!
He can't hear you.
Theo! What happened to him?
I don't know. I don't remember.
What do you mean? What happened to Theo?
I told you, I don't remember.
Are you really reciting the guild creed right now, Apollo?
Yes, Calliope, I am. Because I don't know what else to do.
My brother!
I know there are no words. There's nothing I can do. My phone will be in my hands at all times.
So heartbreaking. Like, you always hope that there's gonna be some magic way that characters make it through. And I'm still hoping, but I'm not optimistic. He looked very much completely dead there. And you know that it's going to make it so much harder because there's going to be fallout that's going to affect the characters in ways that you probably aren't going to expect as a result of this. I don't know, but I'm loving how Juliet's being there in the only way she can be for Calliope. That's a really cool callback. This is the lipstick from episode 1. But it could have been any of the lipsticks and it would have had the same effect. But the fact that it almost creates a double meaning, like in my head, I can't see the lipstick being called Heartstopper as anything other than a nod to the graphic novel and now TV show of the same name. But then to have that lipstick be the clue that Eleanor was involved in an event that literally stopped Theo's heart is so clever. It's gonna break their parents' hearts. Nothing's ever gonna be the same again. What? No.
Yo, he grabbed me by the neck. I was like, oh, you strong. And he threw me.
I heard that one before.
Your dad just asked if he could have your steaks.
That's right. You snooze, you lose.
Yo, bro, I was just telling Mom and Pops about how you saved my ass at the Legacy raid.
What? He claims you
Theo's
took out
not
some
alive, is he?
bodybuilder vamp.
I feel like I'm just waiting because I'm pretty sure Theo's dead, and it has been a bit of a theme that the worst monsters are the ones that you think are human. So what is Theo now? Like, presuming this is Theo, what has he become? And if this isn't Theo, what is this masquerading as Theo? And when's it all gonna be revealed? How's he been made? Or was he always a vampire? No, that doesn't make sense. What's going on here?
You knew how much she meant to me, and you destroyed her family anyway. She will never recover from this. The whole Burns family will never recover from this.
You are so wrapped up in this Hunter girl that you don't give a shit about your own sister.
No matter how much hell you raise, no matter how many lives you destroy, you never feel bad about any of it. It is like you are completely devoid of—
In Lilith's great name, I am so tired of having this moral compass conversation with you. We are legacy vampires. We don't follow rules, we make them.
Oh, Eleanor's definitely made a bad mistake with all of this. You can just see this is going to be Juliet's snapping point. She's been so good at staying kind of in the middle of things, but this feels like it's just going to push her so much to one side, and that side's probably Oliver's, although maybe she teams up with the monster hunters as well.
You are a soulless murderer, and I am completely done with you.
Yes, Juliet is snapping.
Since clearly the severing didn't break you up, as your parents, we have to do what we have to do.
Because that always works. Teenagers aren't just gonna come together out of spite when parents tell them to keep apart, are they? Oh, dear me. Silly, silly parents.
Deciphering what's truth and lies. You can't run from me. You can't hide from me. You can't run from me. 'Cause the monsters, they live inside.
Do we think Juliet has killed Eleanor? Or has she just taken her key of all of her evidence of her bad deeds? So she's not dead. So Juliet's probably sentenced Eleanor to a fate that's likely to be worse than death for her. That's some scheming, and I love it. I can't figure out if Theo being turned into a vampire or becoming a vampire, it's a little bit unclear. Is a fate worse than death for him? I suppose probably, but then I don't know, I've got a sneaky suspicion that the way you kill a legacy involves another legacy. So if he's somehow become a legacy, how many times can I say legacy in one sentence? Maybe that's the key to him getting his revenge on whoever murdered his mother.
About time.
That'll be all, Detective. I trust my client's been treated well.
Counselor?
That's a nice twist that Oliver's a lawyer. Although whether he actually is a lawyer or not, I don't know. But Eleanor seems happy enough to see him. Although maybe that's a smile of, I know you did this to me.
Are you seriously trying to blame your stupid turtle's death on me?
That's vicious. She manipulated him into killing a turtle when he was 2. That's dark. Although they looked much older than 2 in that. But I suppose they probably had to age them up because children and knives, not a great combo.
My little 5-year-old hands.
Oh, okay, so he was 5. Does that mean he had the turtle for 3 years? And Eleanor just snapped at him?
You're a sociopath. You made everyone believe I was evil. But it was all you.
That makes sense. Although I'm still unsure if Oliver is super manipulative. But you definitely get the impression that Oliver is not the evil twin in this situation.
My son, my blood, cannot be this thing.
Did he say my blood? Does that mean that Jack is Theo's father? I thought that he was completely adopted in.
He cannot live in this house.
Over my dead body.
Yes, Dahlia.
You will kill our son over my dead body.
Till then, focus on Juliet. She's our beacon of hope.
They're gonna be so mad when they realise that Juliet's the reason that Eleanor's in prison.
Only took one sip. And I know I would have tried to help you. I know I would have.
It's gonna destroy him if he realises he's the one that stabbed Theo.
I'm sorry.
Yo! Don't do it! Yo!
to a new vampire. Every sound is too much noise. The thirst for blood feels unquenchable. It's impossible to think through it all until it feeds from the one who made it.
What? Juliet did this. Juliet did this.
That's what you did. And you knew that's not what he was asking you to do. So enough with always playing the innocent. The I don't know what I am, I don't know how this works bullshit. When you sank your fangs into him, you knew there was a chance you could turn him. True or false?
There's not much left of this episode, and it sounds like this is going to be a breaking point for them. I don't like it at all.
Stay the hell away from me.
I love you. And I know you love me. There is no way you can just turn your feelings off from me like that.
You can sting me if it'll make you feel better.
You know I won't die.
That's right. You're a very special kind of monster. I will spend the rest of my life trying to figure out how to kill you and every legacy like you. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Pure heartbreak. This is horrible. Like, I love it, but it's so horrible.
A beast like this killed his mother. Theo and I promised each other we would avenge her death. We talked about which weapons we would use. We were gonna celebrate. Right down to the 16-year-old bottle of scotch that we would open in her honor.
Jack, our son is...
My son. My son. The one I love with everything in me.
I'm Theo's mother, Jack. I'm Theo's mother, Jack! And I have been since he was 7 years old. And you know, I can't just stand by while you take my baby.
I'm still gonna be around whether I marry your dad or not. You know why? Because I love you. With my whole heart. My whole heart.
This scene is absolutely breaking me. If only they'd learned that not all vampires are these monsters they believe them to be. Maybe they wouldn't feel like they have to kill their son.
They didn't tell me love would hurt this much.
Yes, Talia.
Act 2, Scene 6. Friar Lawrence advises Romeo that violet delights have violet endings. Therefore, love moderately. It makes sense to me now. I fell too deeply. Had I never met Juliet Fairmont, maybe I could have loved moderately.
Had I never met Calliope Burns, maybe I could have loved moderately.
And I never would have been in this much pain.
I love that even apart, Calliope and Juliet are on the same page. Both feeling like their heart's been ripped out. And maybe this episode will close with them coming together. Hopefully. I'd like some happiness.
You're the best mom I ever met, Miss Talia. I'm happy to help you in any way.
The thing is, if Oliver and Carmen weren't lying, they have a cure for vampirism. They can make Theo human again. Maybe this is where season 2 will go. Hopefully it gets renewed for a second season.
I came back to Savannah for one reason, Theseus. To ruin some lives. And as you can see, I brought some friends with me. You, me, and this woman. We're gonna run this bitch.
Wow, that was a lot. That ending, that was so cool. And we don't know if Calliope was running towards Juliet or she was just running in general. Like, so many unanswered questions. But I am obsessed. I love this series, and you know, obviously I'm happy to hear people's criticisms, but this was brilliant. This was everything I hoped it would be and more. I think the only thing that I'm a little disappointed in is that in the short story that this is based upon, and I will say the writers have done an amazing job of taking this story so much further than what it started from. But in the short story, we got to hear the first kill stories of Margot and Sebastian, and I think I've identified already there was some places that would have fit really well within the overall story of this series, especially when they were talking about how Cook had to die because he was a creep and cruel and going to hurt Calliope. It would have been really interesting if we'd gotten Margot's first kill story in amongst that. But hopefully it's going to get renewed for a second season. We can see what Oliver and Carmen are up to. We can get more of Calliope and Juliet's story because I don't think it's over for them. We can find out what's happening with Margot and the Legacy Council. I can't remember if that's what it's called. There's just so much to find out. And yeah, I hope we actually get a chance to see it. I feel like I did a fairly reasonable job of talking about my thoughts and feelings about the first season after I'd finished watching episode 8. But a couple of things have sort of occurred to me in the few days it's been since I finished the season. The first being, I love the fact that Calliope's middle name is Antigone, and one of her brothers ends up killing the other brother. I suspect that's probably as far as the kind of Easter egg nod to mythology goes. Like, I'm not expecting Theo to kill Apollo and there be some kind of burial situation like in the story of Antigone. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it does go that way, because like Theo is technically dead. So maybe he does kill Apollo, but I think it was just meant to be a kind of if you know kind of moment. Overall, I really loved the series. There was so much to love about it. I loved that it was campy. I loved that it had that kind of low budget CGI. I thought it did a really good job of juxtaposing the tragic moments with the comedic moments. The soundtrack is amazing. I will say that the world building possibly could have done with just a little bit more attention to detail. I did think it was a little bit difficult to wrap my head around what felt like one moment they were like, oh yeah, monsters are real. And then they were like, oh, but we didn't know vampires were real. Oh, we didn't know witches were real. And also, it seemed like the monster hunters had to keep that they were monster hunters secret, which sort of didn't make sense in a world where they knew monsters exist. But I did enjoy the fact that monsters were an accepted part of the world. I think it just needed a little bit more explanation of where the line was and what the rules were. I will preface this by saying I feel like I'm not smart enough to fully explain it to the best of its ability, but I enjoyed what felt like a massive metaphor of the way that queerness seemed to be accepted within this world, but it was almost like the monsters represented queerness, if that makes any sense at all. There was a lot of, won't anyone think of the children when it came to the monsters? And that's the kind of rhetoric that we hear a lot when looking at queerness and how somehow queerness is something that children need to be protected for, even though that is obviously absolute garbage. And the more education that children have, the more they can understand who they are and feel more comfortable within their own skin. As I say, I'm probably not smart enough to break the metaphor down fully, but I did think that was a very fun nod. The other critique I have is the character of Noah. We don't really know how Noah identifies. We don't know if he's bisexual, if he's gay. We don't know what's going on there. I say it as if it's a binary thing, like Noah could be of any sexuality, but it felt a little uncomfortable at times, the way that Ben was almost aggressive, but it also didn't feel like it was one-sided. Like, whatever was going on with Noah, it seemed like he enjoyed what he was doing with Ben. He just, for whatever reason, didn't want to just be with Ben. But something about it didn't sit quite right. Although at the same time, I did appreciate that he was a spineless character and he literally had his spine ripped out of him. I'm really hoping this show gets a second season because I did really enjoy it. I think there's a lot to be worked with. There's going to be lots of interesting twists and turns. As I said when I finished watching it, we don't know if Juliet and Calliope are actually running towards each other. So it would be nice if we get a second season, if it starts with them actually going, okay, first things first, let's make amends, let's try and work through this. Because ultimately what Juliet did was wrong, but it also was an accident. And I think there are a lot of opportunities for the Burns family to work with the Fairmonts, especially with all my theories regarding Theo's mother's death. And also the fact that Oliver is being positioned as a kind of big bad. And just to finish this video, just for the sake of interest, I made a note of all of the books that we see the characters reading or holding during this series. There was significantly fewer than I expected when I decided to make a note initially. But we have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, Wise Blood by Flannery O'Connor, Parable of the Talents by Octavia E. Butler, Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, and The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. So if you want to take those 5 books and make it into a video where you read all of the books you saw in season 1 of First Kill, there's your list. And that's all from me today. I plan on doing a reaction video when Sandman comes out in August. So please give me a subscribe if you'd be interested in seeing that. But in general, I do bookish content, so give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Feel free to discuss the series in the comments down below. But until next time, bye!
There's a place